Welcome to Dare a New Belief, a place to discover what is possible for your life after the loss of a loved one, and where you will find inspiration, insight, support, and love, and hopefully a bit of laughter to help you through your day. Now, here's your host, Nada Hogan.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, where you will find light and life, love and joy, healing, faith, and hope. A place where you get to believe in what is possible for your life. And today I have the great honor to welcome back Andrea Nardozza. Andrea has been an entrepreneur all of her adult life. She is also a Dream Builder certified Dream Builder coach, a life mastery consultant, and an integrative life coach through hypnotherapist Melissa Tiers. She's a Reiki master and an energy worker. She does singing bowl meditations. She also does relationship and true north and communication coaching, as well as teaching Qigong and EFT, otherwise known as tapping. Welcome back, Andrea, and thank you so much for coming back with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So when we were here last time, we were talking about Qigong and all of the beautiful things about Qigong and how you got into it. And I was just saying how I get so wrapped up in the names and in the titles of the moves because it's so connected to nature and it's beautiful. And you are offering a 30-day challenge. So it starts the first of every month. My goodness, your mornings are completely wrapped up in Qigong. It starts the first of each month and they run for 30 days because it takes 30 days to build a habit. And the Qigong challenge is 15 minutes long. And I know you have a longer one, but I'm participating in the 15-minute long version. And I'm just speaking from somebody who does this, not because I love you. If I didn't love you, I would say this because there's so much power when we start our day deliberately and intentionally doing something that is mindful and that is around and engaging in our own energy. And it really is it makes a profound difference in our day than just getting up and starting our day and just being completely unaware, just that robotic kind of thing. And this causes you to be very much aware of your own energy. So for anybody who has missed the first podcast, please go back and listen to that. But what else would you like to share with us about Qigong and what it has done for you? I know that you said that, you are beautiful, but people are saying like, oh my gosh, you're so radiant. What is going on? And, it's because you've been doing Qigong. What other kind of health benefits have you discovered for yourself or maybe even your clients that have been using Qigong or going through your classes?
Well, the most dramatic one has been my client she has an infection in her foot, and she had been in the class for 12 days, and she was doing great, and she's feeling great, and she's getting stronger, and then she went into the hospital, and she called me from her hospital bed, and said, I want to do the class. And I actually have that up on Facebook. I was so blown away by her, not only her commitment, but what this is actually doing for her.
Yeah.
So she's able to do it from her hospital bed, and it helps her to gain strength, keep her spirits up, and keep her mind very clear. The clarity of mind is just a beautiful thing for everyone, and that I find my thoughts are much clearer. Right. All the pain that might have been in my back or in my shoulders is gone. I can move my shoulder. I was having trouble with my shoulder, where I didn't have full range of motion, and now that is completely gone.
Oh.
And my one of my chief instructors, and I've done several workshops with him, Francesco Garipoli. He's been doing this for 40 years, and he's truly a master. And he always said, it's better to do 15 minutes a day than a half an hour a week.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
that really stuck in my head. And I was like, okay, so it takes 30 days to create a habit. 15 minutes a day is better than 30, once a week.
Right.
15 minutes a day, 30 days, there, and that's how the challenge was born.
Okay.
And a Qigong challenge is a very American thing, right? It's really down to put it to Qigong. There's no challenge in Qigong. It's just about connecting with your breath and it's mindful movement coordinated with your breath.
Right.
And it's about connecting with yourself and meditating and just becoming one with nature and really understanding the relationship of your body and space. There's no challenge about it other than showing up.
Right. And I have to, again, say how beautiful it is, because I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, I did Qigong so many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, and it was wonderful. But my mind wasn't there. I just really wasn't into it. And so I really didn't know what to expect from this. And it was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And I love that it's 15 minutes. And I love that. And I'm completely in agreement. 15 minutes a day is so much more powerful than half an hour a week. And I know that it's fabulous for me. It's a beautiful way for me to start off my day. And it ends up becoming a goal that I set for myself every day. If I'm not able to meet up with you in the online group, then I can just do the work on my own, because once you learn these moves, you can do it yourself and you can do it anywhere. And it just feels fabulous. And talking about goals, I would love to talk to you a little bit about some new goal setting stuff that you have recently been doing. So before we tie Qigong up into a beautiful little package with a bow on it, I'm going to make sure that all of the listeners know, if you missed the first podcast where Andrea talks about Qigong more, please go back and listen to that. But all of the information for the Qigong challenge, which really isn't a challenge, it's just you showing up 30 days and doing the work for 15 minutes, which is beautiful. It's not overextending. And like Andrea said, you can sit down, lay down, stand up, be in a hospital bed. And me personally doing it's not like, oh, after a 15-minute workout, I'm exhausted. No, it gives you energy. It feels so good. So Andrea, and this will be in the show notes, but where do the listeners sign up to begin if they wanted to sign up and do the Qigong challenge? And can you tell us the pricing and how you have that all set up?
Okay, so the 30-day challenge, it starts at the beginning of every month and it goes for 30 days. It's $30 a day, less than a cup of coffee. And you can go to inspiredlifemastery.com, and you can find me on Facebook as well, and Nada will have that information too. But you can sign up at inspiredlifemastery.com. You can also contact me at 732-300-8895 if you have any trouble, and I can make sure that you're signed up. But that's how you would get a hold of it.
Okay, perfect. And all of that will be in the show notes. So, but it's just, I love hearing the person offering it. I love hearing them say it, because it just infuses that much more energy into the project that is going on. So like I said, it is a goal for me to be able to be doing the Qigong, hopefully with the group, as often as I can be with the group. That's how I want to do it. But on the days that I can't, it's my goal to be able to do the 15 minutes of Qigong by myself. So it's all about goal setting. And I know that there's something going on in your life that's all about goal setting. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I started this almost, I think it's 27 days ago. I started writing my goals, a minimum of 10 a day. Every day I write down my goals. And at the top I say, it is done in divine order. And the goals could be very big and very, well, and big is a very relative term, right? It's only big if we make it big. But what seem to be big or longer term goals, I want to see the northern lights, or I want to buy a house, or I want to redo my kitchen, or I want to get the cardboard out of my garage, or get my taxes done. It doesn't matter if it's big or small, but I write those goals down every day. And I don't look at them. I just keep writing them every day. And sometimes they're a little different. Sometimes there's a little bit more detail or whatever. And I have to tell you, things have been moving and changing so quickly. And my thoughts around it have been changing. Like, I'm writing certain things every day, and okay, so 27 days later, am I any closer to that? If I'm not, what do I need to do to get closer to that? Yeah. And those are thoughts that I might not have had I not been writing them every day.
Right. So when you set a goal, I'm sorry, go ahead, Andrea.
Just like doing Qigong every day, there's benefits to doing something every day, right? There's greater flexibility because you're doing it every day. If you do it every other day, it's not going to be as great. And when you're writing your goals every single day, they're right in front of your face, and there's a certain energy that is present when that's right in front of your face every day.
Sure, absolutely. So if you were writing a goal, because you said sometimes they're the same and sometimes they're not. So if you were writing a goal, let's say that it's buying a new house, maybe let's say that you're at the age that you want to start a family, and it's something that's going to be a little bit more long-term, or if we called it a bigger goal. And so if you didn't buy the house today, would you write that down on your list of 10 goals that you want? Would you just carry that over to the next day and the next day and the next day?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And then do you look at it a couple of times? Because it is powerful. And I think one of the biggest disadvantages that we have is that I think we have been taught that we have to work so hard and struggle so much and sweat, blood, and tears, right? It's just like, it's the sweat, blood, and tears for me to get to that thing. And it seems to me that the more we are working with the energy that is so easy, that the things come to us in ease and grace and flow. And so even though it sounds very easy just to write, like, I'm just going to write 10 goals a day, and like, really, that's going to be life-changing. And I think, yes, and I do believe that if we start training our little ones to start, right, because they're getting trained in something, and have them discover for themselves that they are so much more powerful than they know, and that if they deliberately set goals for themselves, they can actually see how they're manifesting and seeing the success of their goals instead of being disappointed because, and even as adults, I didn't get that and I really wanted that. But like, if we look at it, did we even really put the work into that thing that we really wanted? Or was it all in our head? And it was in our head, like, it's going to be a lot of work. I don't know if this is ever going to happen for me. Versus if I write it down as a goal, I want to buy that house. I'm not stuck in that, what's the mortgage rate? How many points do I have to buy? What's it going to cost? The trouble of moving, all of that other stuff that gets stuck in our head, right?
There's none of that. It's just what would I love? I would love to have this, and this. And the more that you put that in your brain, the more likely it is to happen. You have to make the decision. You have to put put all of your feeling into it. You have to think that it's true. Expect it. There has to be an expectancy.
Yeah.
And that's the work. All the blood, sweat, and tears, that's wasted.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All of that could have been going into the Qigong to keep you in alignment and opening up all of your channels and allowing more flow and more energy to come in. So that would have taken care of that part. So I love this. Now, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, so is this something that you do this first thing in the morning? So I would imagine this is like a routine or a ritual that you do. You wake up first thing in the morning and you do it, or you do it. How does it work for you? And do you look at this list more than one time a day? Is it someplace that you see it several times during the day, or you make a conscious declaration? I will look at it in the morning. I will look at it, right before I go to bed. It's the last thing that I see. It's the last thing on my conscious mind. How do you go about it?
It's a little bit different than a vision.
Okay.
This is just writing your goals down on a piece of paper, putting it into form, right?
Okay.
I speak my vision every day with a partner. But this goal thing is a different thing. It's just writing them down, believing that they're going to happen, and allowing all the thoughts that surround that to let them happen. It's not the same as creating a vision and reading that a couple times a day and really working with it. It's more just, I hate to use this analogy, but I'm going to. It's more like puking up everything you would love.
Yeah.
And getting it on paper,
Okay.
And writing it down. And the process of writing it down, something happens in your brain.
Right.
And like I said, then ideas come around. Oh, well, I need to do that, and that for that to happen.
Right.
And if you really want these things, well, then it's not really work. It's just bringing these things, allowing these things to become present in your life, and taking the steps to let that happen.
Right. So how? Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to say there really is something very magical, and I'll let you know in maybe 10 more days or so what kind of magic really has happened, because I'm still in it, but so far so much has moved in my life since I started doing this that it was worth a discussion.
Right. Well, and it's amazing and again, like you had said, it's, whether we say like this is a big thing or this is a little thing, big or small, we're the ones that name that. It's not to the universe. It doesn't make any difference. It's neither big nor small. It's our thinking that makes it so. So I would imagine then that you've had many different things that have happened that, and then maybe there's this, in air quotations, a bigger thing that's out there, and that it's coming about. So how is this different when you're writing and setting your goals through the day? So you write them and you're done. You're not going back and you're not visiting them. But let's say it's something about where you're thinking about that bigger goal of buying a house, and you start having those thoughts, through the day. If they just start coming in, that say like, oh my gosh, but that house that you want is, it's $500,000, and that's about $400,000 outside of your budget. You could never have that. What do you do with that? Or is that something where it's just like you just let that thought float in and let it float out, and you don't give it any attention? It's just, it's not going to take your energy? Or how do you, with the goal setting, how do you address that?
Well, it's funny that you would bring up that particular thing, because I live in a house that was exactly in that scenario that you just said.
Oh,
$400,000 outside of my budget, but I actually came to this house every day and sat in the driveway and walked around the neighborhood and met the neighbors, and now I live in this house.
Wow.
So it's not about making things happen. It's about letting them happen.
Right.
And I will tell you, I do look back a couple of times just out of curiosity of what I wrote. But when you're writing them every day, you have a really good relationship with what's on that paper. So you know what's going on, and you know if you're moving towards them or you're not moving towards them.
Okay.
So
what do you do if you do get those thoughts that are disempowering? What do you do with those?
We all have those thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And I take a deep breath and say, that's not the truth.
Okay.
That is not. I can do whatever I put my mind to. And if I truly want this is what I need to do.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's really a matter of training your brain. Notice what you're noticing. And training your brain that when those disempowering thoughts come in, and they always will at any level, they're going to come in. Take that deep breath. Breathing is so important. So important. And we talked about this before. Breathing is so important.
Right.
Take a nice cleansing breath. Push away all those thoughts. And remind yourself that you are a child of God. You are a light being. And you can do anything that you put your mind to.
Right.
Now go do it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's amazing because it's true, because the more we go up the evolution of our own becomingness, the spiral of the evolution of our own becomingness, how we will be met with new challenges. So sometimes we think, once I get that new house, I'm just using that as an example. I mean, it could be anything, the relationship, the better health, the better job, whatever it happens to be. So Andrea, I was saying to you that so if we are saying that it's a house that we're wanting to bring into our life, and it's one of those things that is on our goal list, and when those thoughts are flowing into us that are negative thoughts, that we're just letting them, right? Just we're breathing in, cleansing breaths. We're letting those drop away, and knowing that every spiral of our own evolution, of our own becomingness, we will have new challenges. So maybe it is this one house that is, $500,000, but the next house that I want, it's going to be, $900,000. And so then we'll have more challenges, which would be that negative thinking, the paradigms that come up. And then we just continue doing the same thing, right? The cleansing breaths, and we allow this limiting belief paradigm just to fall to the wayside and know that if I thought it up, that thing is for me.
Right. And to stay in love and trust, right? Trust the universe or God or whatever it is that you believe in, that everything is happening in divine order, and it will happen as soon as you get on the right frequency of that thing.
Right.
So it's a matter of belief, a decision, belief, expectancy.
Yeah. I love that one. Decision, belief, and expectancy. I remember there was a book that Wayne Dyer wrote, and I believe, isn't it called You'll See It When You Believe It, right? Because we always say that, like, I'll believe it when I see it. And it was like, no, it's the complete opposite. When you believe it, when you believe it, you'll see it. Absolutely. And we just weren't brought up that way. We just weren't brought up to think that way. And so it's just a shift in mindset. It's a shift in thinking. And I'm going to tell you, so I'm doing the Qigong with you, and you're now talking about this, writing 10 goals per day. So guess what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start it. I think I'm actually going to just start it tonight. I'll do it today, and then I'll then get going with it tomorrow morning and do it daily. So so thank you for sharing these wonderful nuggets and gifts, and which seem really simple. And again, I just want to come back to that and say, I don't think that it's supposed to be as hard and complicated as we've made it out to be. So
that's right.
Yeah. And so I invite go ahead.
Real quick. In the beginning of my goal setting, I had one of my goals was to have 15 people in my Qigong challenge.
Okay.
And guess what?
There's 15.
There's 15 people. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So now are you going to up it? Are you upping that number? Or is that a number you want to stay at? Like, I don't want it to get, because sometimes like we want it to be at this number because when it gets to be too much, it's going to be hard to manage.
In August, I've opened up 4 new classes. So by the time this airs September, I'll still have the 4, maybe 5 classes. So I'd like 15 in each of those classes.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So
those classes.
Okay. We might have to do this again in October so you can tell us how it all turned out, how this goal setting, right, set us up. And I just think if the listeners can know that, it doesn't have to be this crazy struggle. We don't have to make ourselves nuts. And Andrea's living proof of that, and I am living proof of that. And we are, well, we're twins, but we are as ordinary as anybody in the world. We don't have anything special. And that's what I love about this work. And just being a regular old next door neighbor kind of girl. And you too, Andrea, but we're working this magic because this life is so magical.
Right. We all have it. It's just a matter of using it.
Yes. And being in a community where you can feel that magic and that support is so important, because when you're just out there trying to do it by yourself, it's very difficult because you're having to fight off a lot of arrows and a lot of stuff. And so being in a community.
A lot of people tell you that you can't. And all I can say is those people are wrong.
Right. Absolutely. Andrea, I have to tell you, I'm so grateful. And again, this time went flying by like there is just no tomorrow. And, I'm thinking if a woman was in labor and if 30 minutes goes by this quickly, every woman in labor should be listening to these because it's just like 30 minutes and it's done. You're kidding. I love you. I love your energy. I love spending time with you. And you're such a bright light, positivity. And you're just, I'm very blessed to have you in my life. And I'm very grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedule to come and be with me. And, thank you. Just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
And I just love you so much, Nada. You are truly my twin, my soulmate. And together we will just help tons and tons and tons of people because that's what we're here to do. So
absolutely. Yes.
I am grateful for you and for Joseph and everyone. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And you will be back. So listeners know that Andrea will be back. Of course, we have to have her back in October. We got to know how the Qigong classes turned out. So for all of Andrea's information and how to sign up for the Qigong, and I highly recommend it. It is so reasonable, $1 a day, 30 days, and she does a beautiful job. You are so in the moment with her while you're doing the Qigong challenge. That information will all be on the show notes, so there will be no confusion in how to contact her. So thank you again, Andrea. And for all of the listeners, thank you. And I know you gained some golden nuggets from here. And please know your life does not need to be a struggle. There should be ease and flow and grace. And that's what we wish for you. Have a beautiful rest of your day and a beautiful week. And we will see you back here next week. Goodbye for now.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Please go to nadahogan.com for show notes and other information you can use right away. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe to our show and don't forget to rate and review right there on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your shows. And don't forget to tell your friends about it. We'll see you next week.